Hello y'all and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about habits with Haley. So what everything boils down to, regardless of what it is we're trying to improve in this life, is our habits. I mean, let's be honest. What we do day to day, the actions we repeat, the things we commit to are truly how we change our lives for the better, okay? So as an introduction to this series, I want to say, first of all, that I have been reading a book by James Cleary, a New York Times bestseller called Atomic Habits. I do full-time work as a nurse practitioner, and the company that I work for introduced this book to us and told us that if we wanted a copy, they would send us a copy. And I was like, me, I want a copy. So they sent me a copy, and I've honestly had it for probably 4 to 6 months now and have done absolutely nothing with it. Until recently I decided, you know what, I think I want to read that. I started a new habit and I started reading a portion of this book every night. And it's literally life-changing, you guys. So if you do nothing else, go out and purchase Atomic Habits by James Cleary and read through that book. His advice is so good and so impactful and very, very, very true. If you want to be a different person a year from now, incorporate some small habits every day and you can change your life dramatically, okay? So we're going to talk about this series, Habits with Haley. So some habits are easy to keep, right? It's like brushing your teeth every morning. It's something you've done as long as you can remember. It is a habit. You do it every day. You don't even think about it. That's kind of the point of a habit. You get to the point where it doesn't even take as much brain power to do that as it once did. Other habits are more difficult. For example, exercising. Exercising can be a habit that you decide that you don't want to get up when that alarm clock goes off and exercise. Why? Because I think we associate that with having to do something physically. We don't want to do it. So we're going to talk about how we can change our mindset and get into a habit of doing that if that's what you want to do, okay? There are two things that I try to remember, and I keep a sticky note in my office on my wall of both of these things. One is that actions create results. I'm very much a planner. I can plan. But if I have to remember that if I don't act on those plans, nothing is going to change, okay? The other post-it note that I have in my office is that consistency makes the difference. Actions create results, but consistency makes the difference. So you can act on something, but if you're not consistent, you're not going to see a change, okay? So those two things are very important to me. But what creates the consistency, you guys? What creates consistency? That is a habit. And that is why we're talking about habits. They are so incredibly important to making changes stick in your life, okay? So I just want to share with you from that book, Atomic Habits by James Cleary, and I'll post the link to that book on my website because I think it is such a good book. But I'll just share with you so far one of my favorite parts of that book. And that book, my favorite part of that book is when he talks about how to recover quickly when your habits break down. Because I think that's where, at least for me, I struggle. I'll start doing something and then life happens, right? Somebody gets sick, I get sick, a kid gets sick. Life happens and I have to not exercise that day, or I have to eat out that day, or whatever it might be. And then I'm like done with it. I don't get back into it. And if I do, it's like months later. So to me, what stuck out with this book was how to recover quickly when your habits break down. So when life happens, when I get sick, when something comes up, I tend to lose all focus, right? My habit stops. For example, working out. This is his simple rule. This is James Cleary's simple rule. Never miss twice. Never miss twice. And I'm trying to remember that. Maybe that needs to be my third sticky note. Never miss twice. Miss a workout because something came up, don't miss it the next day. He says the first mistake is never the one that ruins you. It is the spiral of repeated mistakes that follow. If you're struggling with this like I do, tune into my podcast, Real with Haley, where we're going to delve deeper into this topic in an upcoming episode. So go to realwithhaley.com to subscribe to my podcast. And don't forget to follow me on my socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, And if you haven't already, subscribe here on YouTube. Next week on Habits with Haley, we are going to talk about what's helping me get up in the mornings, a tool I do not ever want to go without. So don't miss that. You guys have a great week.